size, and I'm guessing that she would know.
She'd probably seen more than a few.
Blythe Velour, she works at Sherry's Ranch, and she says, let's talk about penis length, shall we? Why wouldn't we? And here are her comments. She said, there is such a thing, rather, as a perfect penis size, ideal, rather. And she talks about how the different things that there are, but she says, if your penis, there is not an ideal one. She said, as long as
I was about to say, but it would be individual for each individual person.
Right.
What works for one person may not work for another.
Yeah. She said there is no such thing. She said, as long as the penis is healthy, it's ideal for sex, and is capable of pleasing a woman, you're all good to go. The myth number 2, the size thing. Size does not matter. A thick or long penis doesn't mean that you're automatically good at sex.
Yeah.
Colleen and I are both like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure most folks out there are nodding along.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a poor substitute for lack of skill and or compassion is what she said, which I thought is kind of cool. Myth number 3 surprised me. Women gossip. What?
This is a myth?
Yeah.
That they do gossip or they don't gossip? I'm confused.
About penis size.
About penis.
She says women do kiss and tell, but the focus is almost always on the performance and not on the penis size at all. Women are more interested in talking about the whole experience, tricks, toys, or particular, things that he's good at, not the penis, really.
Oh, yeah. I mean, folks share. Some people may be more detailed. Other folks may be, just more general and stuff like that. I, had a friend. Oh God, it was so funny. So she picks up an item, and she accidentally throws away the charging cord.
Oh God.
Okay. So I get her another charging cord because we've got spares and stuff like that, and I get it to her, and she charges it, and then since she threw away everything, she forgot how to turn it on because you have to hold the button down for a little bit.
Okay.
And this happens a lot. So she's like, oh my God, but she's just like, I can't return it. And so her partner went and actually got a replacement thinking it was broken. And then when they got the other one and they had all the paperwork, they realized. So since they hadn't actually touched the first one, really.
Yep.
A friend of hers got said, would you like, so she was able to talk to her friend saying, here you go, here's a pro. But she calls me up, she goes, because, all sales are fine. It was out of the box. I can't, so here's a regift that was done in
full disclosure too.
In full disclosure.
God.
But she's like, oh yeah, you have to hold the button down. And like I said, we've talked about that before.
We have, yeah.
That it just, all these vibrators turn on different ways. Hell, I couldn't turn one off the other day.
Oh God, that was hilarious.
Which made me giggle.
Yeah.
And I'm still giggling over that. And I'm like, okay, do you hold it down for 3 seconds, 2 seconds? And it always seems longer than it should be.
Yeah.
But it's not really. And then you get used to it. But no, she got the original one. She's like, it works just fine. Well, and she's like, oh my God, I cannot believe that. So
the lesson, then children, don't throw away the packaging in haste.
Yeah. Keep your packaging, make sure you got your cords. Because sometimes the cords are like tucked under the little plastic. This is there's a big box it's in, but it sits on a little plastic sheath, and then you have to lift,
and the tray thing.
The tray, and it's underneath, yes.
Can we just talk about packaging for 1 second? How frustrating. And I know a lot of stuff that you sell is insane packaging. I needed to buy, this is my favorite thing to do lately, is think I've lost something, I'll replace it and then find it.
Oh, yeah.
And my favorite thing to do that with lately has been my car cell phone chargers. Mm-hmm. So I go to get one, and it was two just little. I mean, this wasn't even some of the heinous stuff, like anything from Best Buy. It seems like you need a chainsaw to get into.
Well, the shoplifting there, though, is insane. I mean, they've got to do something for losses. People just take this little stuff. I mean, I have to tape up packaging, to have it in the store, which freaks people out because then they think it's used. But I said, no, I'm just desperately trying to keep people from taking souvenirs out of the store. Desperately.
Yep.
But I still want to be able to get, but I don't want it completely shrink wrapped because we want to show the product off. I mean, so there's this balance, and I've had, several folks that are just beyond unreasonable about this. And I said, okay, I can't help you. you're going to have to shop someplace else. I don't want to do this, but I can't get any sort of reason into them.
Yeah.
But I mean, the packaging, or we'll get packaging that was perfectly reasonable in a clamshell. Now they've put it in a box that you can't see the product, or they'll put it in a box, but it doesn't sit all the way into the box. The plastic part sticks up, so you can't stack them while you're working on. I want to go to manufacturers and go, what are you doing to us?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's an issue. I mean, trying to merchandise and get things to function in reality is so much different than what these people somewhere at a factory in a marketing department think.
Yeah, because trying to have it accessible to the customer but not make it stolen is just,
I never thought that was about theft. I had no idea. Actually, I'm a little less hostile then, because I was just getting so, and it's like, you can't cut it. I mean, I had to go get the pruners one time because that plastic was so stiff.
I have used poultry shears to open up some of the more intense sealed clamshell packaging.
Okay. Okay. It's
Stuff that's supposed to go through bones. Yes.
Alrighty then. So what do you think the key is to, what's keeping people, really a silly thing, from enjoying sex more than they do? What do you think's keeping them?
Personal body image.
You know, it's their age. The study,
they're thinking they're too old for sex?
Well, it's basically a University of Waterloo in Canada studied 1,170 people aged from mid-40s to mid-70s over a 10-year period. So this is a pretty big study. And basically the gist of it is that people who feel younger than they actually are have more satisfying sex lives. So the closer they felt to their chronological age, the less satisfied they were with their sex life, which included anything from not feeling like having sex to just not thinking it's that good anymore.
Oh, it's very special. I mean, we've been in business for about 38 years now, which means that the customers we had in their 30s are now like in their 70s, you know, and they're still shopping with us. So I know they're having a good time. But it is, I mean, one thing, I mean, you know, boomers may have screwed up the environment pretty good and a couple of other things, but one thing they're doing is they're staying younger longer. And so I really do think that, you know, you always think, I mean, when my mom and dad, you know, and the grandparents were in their 50s, they were ancient. I'm not ancient, you know, and so I think people's mindsets are going to change about, you know, about the sex. You're just going to want it longer. I mean, people get new knees and they still want to run a marathon.
I know somebody with a hip that just did.
So, you know, they're expecting to be, you know, they're expecting to be younger longer. And I think it's just going to bode well for better sex, because they're like, I still want it.
Yeah.
I mean, there are folks in nursing homes and assisted living and communities. They're meeting partners and doing stuff. And they're just realizing, yeah, I can still do this.
Yeah.
And I think it's, the more folks talk about it, then someone might go, well, I can do that. That's me. Yeah.
Oh, well, I just think it's really interesting.
But if you have a mindset that you're old, or if you have a mindset that you can't do something anymore, that's gonna mess with you.
Right. And people used to, Colleen, you probably have people in your family that did this. You know, they'd get to a certain age and then declare whatever, and then they would make it true. You know, that their age, something was not appropriate, or they couldn't do something anymore, and then they just made it true. I refuse to go there. I absolutely refuse to do that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that folks are staying, I mean, especially with a lot of folks becoming parents later, you just have no choice but to stay younger longer. Your kid's not done yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have a friend that we talk about this all the time. I don't feel any older than I did at X age, and everybody has an age.
Oh yeah, somewhere around my mid-20s for me. I look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, that's a lot more gray hair than I think someone should. And I'm like, you look around for the responsible adult, and there's most of the time, I'm like, I know I'm the responsible adult, but there is times you go, wait a minute, it's me.
I know.
I still occasionally look for someone to like care something, and it's not that often, you know. But I go, oh, that's right. I'm the one that takes care of this.
Oh,
you know, and it like I said, doesn't happen often, but it does sometimes smack me upside the head.
Yeah,
where I'm like, oh, I guess I am the grown up.
That's an odd thing. It's like, oh, right, I got it. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
that's funny. So we've talked about, and you hear about this all the time, the girlfriend experience that people, and it could be the boyfriend experience. It's escorts for whatever. So there's a site out there called Miss Travel. And there's a girl who goes by Heidi Pandora. She's 24 and a self-described sugar baby who is addicted to the travel, not the sex. So she has been to 20 countries during 3 years on this dating site. And she said, you know, some of them are married and all of that. But she said, I don't see it as a big deal to have sex with them. If they're married and looking somewhere else, they're not happy. And they've gone all over the world. And she said, you know, if we connect, things happen. If we don't, then we just have fun. Or I actually just go ahead and come back, which I think would be really awkward to embark on an international adventure with somebody and go, no, I'm going to hop on a plane. I'd be pissed if I was the one that had hired her.
I'm assuming there's probably a refund. You know, I mean, because she was like, yeah, but you know, if she didn't feel safe, or there's something going through here, or you just don't hit it off. You know, not every business transaction works. Why would this be any different?
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is she just does it. You know,
travel dating. It's like her job. She used to be a masseuse, and now she does this. And she said, you know, back when she first did this, you know, she had like no money and travel was so expensive. And she said, I just came back from Dublin and I'm getting ready for a trip to Nepal, and I don't pay for anything, and she's enjoying her life. So,
yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that because I mean, you know, she can, you know, if the sex happens, it happens. But what she's doing is they're paying for her travel companionship, you know, going through there.
Okay,
so she's got her out.
Yes, 5 types of orgasms for women. Did we know this? I didn't know this.
Okay. I saw this one. I said, nope, I won't Google. I'm not Googling.
Don't Google because it's more fun.
No, yep.
Okay, the A spot, the anterior fornix erogenous zone, deep in the vagina, 2 to 3 inches higher than the G spot and behind the cervix. How in the hell do you get to that thing? It says if you can manage to find this, it can lead to overwhelming orgasms that radiate across the pelvis and down the legs.
Maybe that's what the body wands are for. Some of those are slightly longer and larger vibrators. And you could, you know, and one of them's a little bit curved, it's got a flat end. You could probably find that spot.
Yep. I have found that spot. Yep. The U spot, that stands for the urethral opening. And this is soft touches rather than strong pressure around the urethra area. And lubrication is key to that. Okay. That
just sounds like one big fat extra thing towards a UTI. But okay.
Yeah, that's why do you think I have cranberry pills? Those things got to have those around at all times. They work like a charm, man. Okay, this is weird. Orgasm, like a non-genital based orgasm, it's a tangible thing according to this. ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response. It's a sensation that spreads from the scalp down the back of the neck, across the shoulders, and down the spine.
I have friends. They all sing, male. They all have very deep voices. It's, bass. If they hit a note and they're in a circle around you and they sort of go, yeah, your entire body feels it.
Okay.
So I have
Colleen vouched for it.
Absolutely have no problem with that concept.
It is an orgasm.
It is really, you're like, oh my God, it's just your whole body vibrates.
Interesting.
You need a, yeah.
Wow. The typical one, clitoral. That contains 8,000 nerve endings. Did you know that had 8,000 nerve endings? I did not know that.
Yep.
Amazing.
That's a lot.
That's twice as many as a penis. Huh. I'm gonna use that factoid to be superior.
maybe
I'm gonna say, guess what?
That'd be my July fun fact.
I have more nerve endings than you. Ha. And then the last one is the vaginal / G spot. And I love Megan when she comes in and explains the come here thing for the G spot. She's really good at that. So she can do a guest appearance for us.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Folks, I'll be here because in a couple of weeks I'm heading for spring break, summer break road trip. Woo!
Oh, that's right. Where are you going this time?
East. Yep. Gonna check out Boston area and New England and Portland. Not on the West Coast. There are 2 Portlands, and the amount of people who just look at me like, what? I said, no, Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, people. So I'm like, it's been quite the quite the knowledge of the lack of geography that people have in this country, let me tell you.
Oh, it's terrifying. It really is. So guess what? Ghana is jumping into sex ed, being progressive on sex ed, which I think is really great. Anytime we can get, countries that you don't hear about it jumping on.